In class 6, as we were dealing with chapter 10, motion and measurement of distances. So today we will discuss the rest portion of this chapter. So all of you take out your science book and open chapter 10, motion and measurement of distances, page number 101. In our previous class we have discussed till 10.5. So today we will start from 10.6, which is measuring the length of a curved line. We cannot measure the length of a curved line directly. By using a meter scale, we can put a thread to measure the length of a curved line. Yes, we can't measure the length of a curved line just by through meter scale or meter tapes. For measuring a curved line or any curved object, we need a thread to measure it. Now, activity 4. Use a thread to measure the length of the curved line AB. Figure 10.10. Put a knot on the thread near one of its ends. Place this knot at point A. Now place a small portion of the thread along the line. Keeping it taut using your fingers and thumb, hold the thread at this end point with one hand. Using the other hand, stretch a little more portion of the thread along the curved line. Now, what you have to do? We have to take a thread just to measure the length of a curved line AB, as you can see in figure 10.10. Now what we have to do, first of all we have to put a knot at one end of the thread के एक एंड पे हमें क्या करना है, एक नॉट लगानी है और फिर उस नॉट से हमें we have to start that knot on the point A. After that we have to place a small portion of thread along that line and keeping it taut means keeping it just measuring properly, not in the straight form. Move the thread along with the curve line. Okay, then hold the thread at this end and with one end. Using your other hand, stretch a little more portion of the thread along the curve line. Yes. Now, as I have told you that what you have to do, you have to move that thread along with the curve line. Okay. Now, turn to the page number 102. Go on repeating this process till the other end B of the curved line is reached. Make a mark on the thread where it touches the end B. Now stretch the thread along a meter scale. Measure the length between the knot in the beginning and the final mark on the thread. This gives the length of the curved line AB. We see that we need a lot of care to ensure that we are measuring distances and lengths correctly, and we need some standard units and devices with which we measure these distances and can convey our results to others. Now, once we have started measuring from point A, we have to complete that process till end B. हमने पॉइंट A से स्टार्ट किया है किसी भी कर्व लाइन को मेजर करना, तो हमें उसको एंड पॉइंट B तक की हमें उस थ्रेड को हमें उसी सेम प्रोसेस में हमें लेकर जाना है along with that curve line. And after that, at the point B, at end B, what we have to do? We have to make a mark on thread where it reaches the end. And after that, after making a mark, just stretch the thread and measure the distance with the help of a ruler or a meter scale. Okay, from the knot which was point A and the mark at end B, point B. Okay, so we have to measure the distance from point A to point B on a thread, and after measuring we will get the length of a curved line. Okay, the curved line A and B. And yes, we have seen that this takes a lot of care, because a minor mistake or a minor carelessness can make differences in the measurement. Okay, now 10.7, moving things around us. Activity 5, think of some objects you have seen recently. List them in table 10.4. These may include a school bag, a mosquito, a table, people sitting on chairs, or people moving about. The list may also have a butterfly, a dog, a cow, your hands, and a small baby, a fish in water, a house, a factory, a piece of stone, a horse, a ball, a bat, a moving train, a sewing machine, a wall clock, or the hands of a clock. Make your list as large as you can. Which of these are moving and which are at rest? Yes, as it is shown in table 10.4 that there are two columns. One is objects at rest and second one is objects in motion. So what you have to do, you have to make a list which you see, you have to make a list of the things which you see around you. अपने अपने आसपास की जितनी भी चीजें आप देख रहे हो उसकी हमें एक लिस्ट बनानी है. आफ्टर दैट we have to divide that things in objects at rest and objects in motion. How did you decide whether an object is in motion or at rest? How you will decide that the object is in rest position or at motion position? You might have noticed that the bird is not at the same place after some time. Yes, you have seen that. You have noticed also that a bird sitting on a tree does not sit for the whole day. It keeps on moving from one tree to another, and then second to third, third to fourth. Okay, so it keeps on moving. The thing which changes its place, that is moving, or that object is in motion which changes uh, its place. Okay, and the things which are at the same position, which are kept at the same position, like trees. If we sow or plant a tree in a park, then until and unless we will not cut that tree, it will be there only. Okay, so the bird is in motion and the tree is in at rest. So this is the difference between the rest and motion. I hope it is clear that what is objects at rest and what is objects in motion. Objects in motion which move, and objects at rest which remains at same place where it is kept. Suppose a table. While the table is at the same place, on this basis you may have decided whether an object is at rest or in motion. Now let us look at the motion of an ant closely. Activity 6. Select a place where you find ants. Spread a large sheet of white paper on the ground and keep a little sugar on it. Ants are likely to be attracted to the sugar, and you will find many ants crawling on the sheet of paper soon. For any one ant, try and make a small mark with a pencil near its position. When it has just crawled on the sheet of paper, keep marking its position after few seconds as it moves along on the sheet of paper. After some time, shake the paper free of the sugar and the ants. Connect the different points you have marked with arrows to show the direction in which the ant was moving. Now what you have to do, you have to take a white sheet of paper, and on that you have to spread some sugar, and and after some time what you will see, there you will see the ants are crawling on sugar. Now any of them we have to mark where the ant is. We have to mark a point or mark that where the ant is, and as it moves, what you have to do, you have to keep on marking its movement. आपको क्या करना है, एंट है, जहां पर एंट है हमने एक पॉइंट मार्क किया, उसके बाद जैसे जैसे उस एंट ने मूव किया हमने वैसे वैसे हमें मार्क करते जाना है, एंड जैसे जैसे एंट मूव करेगी या क्रॉल करेगी हम मार्क करेंगे, तो हम व्हाट वी विल सी the movement or the motion of an ant. Okay, now see page number 103. Now each point you have marked shows where the ant moved to in intervals of a few seconds. Motion seems to be some kind of a change in the position of an object with time, isn't it? In activity 5, where did you place objects like a clock, a swing machine, or an electric fan in your grouping of objects? Are these objects moving from one place to other? No. Do you notice movement in any of their parts? The blades of the fan, the hands of a clock, how are they moving? Is their movement similar to that of an ant or a train? Let us now look at some types of motion to help us understand these differences. Yes, we have seen that an ant moves, okay, or it crawls, so which proves that it is in motion. But in place of an ant, if we keep electric fan, clock, a swing machine, then what you will notice? Will they move? No, they will not move. Does any part of it moves? Yes, the hands of a clock moves, the blades of a fan moves, but how they move? They move in the same position or in the same type or in any other. Just they move like an ant or a train. Now let's see what are the types of motion. 10.8 types of motion. You may have observed the motion of a vehicle on a straight road, march past of soldiers in a parade, or the falling of a stone. Figure 10.12. What kind of motion is this? Sprinters in a 100-meter race also move along a straight track. Can you think of more such examples from your surroundings? Now, you may have been observed that a motion of a vehicle on a straight road, or a march past of a soldier in a parade, or the falling of a stone is straight. आप लोगों ने नोटिस किया होगा रोड पे कि vehicles, the movement of vehicles is in a straight line. Then the march past, the soldiers in a parade, they also move in a straight line. Then the falling of a stone, when a stone falls from somewhere, then it also falls in a straight way only. It doesn't moves in a curve. Okay, Now sprinters in a 100-meter race, 100-meter race जब होती है तो what the racers they also move in a straight track only. The sprinters move in a straight track only. Okay. Now can you think some more examples? The one who is bicycling, that does not bicycle in a curve or in a circular motion. It moves in a straight line only. Okay. Then bullock carts, they also move in a straight line. In all these examples, we see that the objects move along a straight line. This type of motion is called rectilinear motion. Now the motion which is in straight line, that is known as rectilinear motion. Now activity 7. Take a stone, tie a thread to it and whirl it with your hand. Observe the motion of the stone. We see that the stone moves along a circular path. In this motion, the distance of the stone from your hand remains the same. This type of motion is called circular motion. Now, what you have to do, in activity 7, we have to take a stone and tie a thread to it, and after that we have to whirl it. Means we have to rotate that stone with the help of our hand. And what we have to do after that, we have to observe the motion of a stone. How does it moves? The stone moves in a circular path, and the distance of the stone from your hand remains the same. It does not change. It moves in a circular distance only. Sorry, it moves in a circular path with same distance. Okay. Now the circular motion or the movement in a circular path will be called circular motion. Now the movement in a straight line, rectilinear motion. Movement in a circular path, circular motion. Now after that, the motion of a point mark on the blade of an electric fan or the ends of a clock are examples of circular motion. Now the motion of a point marked on the blade of an electric fan. Now the motion of an electric fan, clocks is an example of a circular motion. The electric fan or the clock by themselves are not moving from one place to another, but the blades of the... Now yes, the fan or the clock does not move themselves. अपने आप नहीं मूव करते हैं from one place to another. They doesn't move from one place to another, but the blades of the fan rotate, and so do the hands of a clock. But the blades as well as the hands of a clock or a fan moves. Okay. Now turn to the page 104. If we mark a point anywhere on the blades of a fan or the hands of a clock, the distance of this point from the center of a fan or the clock will remain the same as they rotate. Now, if we make a mark at a point, or if we mark a point anywhere on the blades of a fan or a hand of a clock, then what will happen? The distance of that point from the center of a fan or a clock, जो फैन का जो सेंटर होता है और जो क्लॉक का सेंटर होता है, वहां से जो हमने मार्क लगाया था, एक पॉइंट जो हमने मार्क किया था ब्लेड या फिर हैंड पर, that distance will be same when it will move, okay, or when it will rotate. If an object is moving along a circular path, then it is known as that it rotates. In some cases, an object repeats its motion repeats its motion after some time. This type of motion is called periodic motion. Take the stone tie with the string that you used in activity 7. Now hold the string in your hand and let the stone hang from it. This is a pendulum. Pull the stone to one side to the other hand and let it go. Now the pendulum is in motion. It is an example of periodic motion. A branch of a tree moving to and fro, motion of a child on a swing, strings of a guitar, and the membranes of drums, that is tabla, being played are all examples of periodic motion where an object of a part of it repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time. Now, in some cases, what happens? An object repeats its motion after some time. It repeats its motion or it repeats its movement, and that is known as a periodic motion. Now, have you all seen a clock with a pendulum? See the picture B. This is a clock with a pendulum. So, like this only, as we have used in activity 7, a stone and a thread. Okay. So, tie a thread with the stone and hang it just like shown in picture B. 10.14B. Just like a pendulum, and move from one end to the another. What you will see? You will see that it moves just like same as a pendulum. As a pendulum moves from left to right or right to left, like that only stone also moves from right to left, left to right. Now, a branch, have you all seen a branch of a tree moving and fro, motion of a child on a swing? Now, see picture 10.14a. Have you all seen a swing? Yes, swing is in our school also. You all have seen. How does it move? It moves from to and fro, means so a motion of a child on a swing, or the string of a guitar, or the membrane of the drum are all examples of an periodic motion because they also repeat their motions. Okay. Now, where an object or a part of it repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time. Okay, now what is a periodic motion? Periodic motion is that motion in which objects or a part of an object repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time. Now, did you observe a swing machine as a part of activity 5? You must have observed that it remains at the same location while any point on its wheel moves with a circular motion. It also has a needle that moves up and down continuously as long as the vehicle rotates, isn't it? This needle is undergoing a periodic motion. Now, have you seen a sewing machine? When we use a sewing machine for sewing a cloth, what we will see? There is a wheel on it, and if you mark any point on its wheel, what will happen? That point on its wheel moves in a circular motion or at a circular path. So that is circular motion. But that sewing machine also has a needle which moves up and down continuously. As the wheel rotates, the needle also moves up and down. So the movement of a needle in this is a periodic motion, and the movement of a wheel is a circular motion. Now, Have you observed closely the motion of a bell along the ground? Here. Now, have you all observed the motion of a ball along the ground, on the ground? Now, turn to see page number 105. The ball is rolling on the ground, rotating as well as moving forward along the ground. Thus, the ball undergoes rectilinear motion as well as rotational motion. Can you think of other examples where objects undergo combinations of different types of motion? Now, what we see that the ball is rolling on the ground and rotate on the ground, rotating as well as moving forward along the ground. Now, the ball which undergoes in a rectilinear motion as well as a rotational motion. No, what we have observed? We have observed that the ball undergoes in a rectilinear motion also as well as in a rotational motion. Now, can you think of other examples where objects undergo combinations of different types of motion? Can you think the objects which undergo the combinations of different types of motion? We did many measurement activities and discussed some kinds of motion. We saw that motion is a change in the position of an object with time. Yes, we have noticed that motion is a change in the position of an object with time. The change in this position can be determined through distance measurements. Yes, the change in this position can be determined through distance measurements. This allows us to know how fast or slow a motion is. This shows that how fast or a slow a motion is. The movement of a snail on the ground, a butterfly flitting from flower to flower, a river flowing, an aeroplane flying, moon going around the sun, and the blood flowing inside our bodies show that there is motion everywhere around us. Okay, so now the movement of a snail on the ground, a butterfly flitting from flower to flower, the movement of a butterfly from one flower to another flower, then the flow of a river, and then an aeroplane flying, then a moon, and the blood flowing inside our bodies. These all shows the motion, or these all show that there is a motion everywhere around us. These are the examples of motion which proves that there is a motion around us. Okay,